Imagine lying in a dental chair, tears streaming down your face, your mouth burning, your cheeks swelling by the minute, and the dentist performing your root canal is rambling about her relationship problems while instruments are falling off her tray. Now imagine walking out of that office thinking the procedure is done, only to find out days later that your dentist pushed the root canal material up into your sinuses. You're bleeding from your nose and mouth. Your face and neck are so swollen you can barely recognize yourself. And the dental assistant, the person working right alongside that dentist, pulls you aside and tells you to get a lawyer. That is exactly what happened to one California patient, and what she uncovered about her dentist afterward will leave your jaw on the floor. This is one of the most disturbing dental malpractice stories we have come across, and today we are going to break it all down. What happened, why it matters, and what you need to know if you ever find yourself in a similar situation. Let's set the stage here, because context is everything. We are talking about California, which is one of the more patient-friendly states when it comes to medical and dental malpractice law. Root canals are already one of the most anxiety-inducing dental procedures out there. Most people dread them, but when performed correctly by a competent professional, they are actually routine. Dentists perform millions of them every year. The procedure involves removing the infected pulp inside a tooth, cleaning out the root canals, and sealing everything up to prevent further infection. It's delicate work, but it is absolutely something a licensed dentist should be able to handle. Now, when things go wrong in dentistry, they can go very wrong, and the consequences are not just cosmetic. Your mouth, your sinuses, your jaw, your throat, they are all interconnected. A mistake in your upper teeth, for example, can absolutely impact your sinuses. And that is precisely what makes this particular story so serious and so dangerous. This was not a minor filing error or a crown that didn't fit quite right. This was a procedural failure with real, ongoing medical consequences. The patient was still symptomatic more than a week later, requiring steroids just to manage the swelling, and even that wasn't working. Now let's get into the full story, because the details here are truly jaw-dropping. A California patient went in for an emergency root canal on one of her upper teeth. Emergency root canals happen when the infection or damage is severe enough that it can't wait for a scheduled appointment. You're already in pain when you walk through that door. You're vulnerable. You're trusting that the person in that white coat knows what they're doing. From the moment the procedure began, something felt off. The dentist was visibly distracted, and not in a small way. She was talking about her personal life, her relationship problems, while performing a medical procedure inside this patient's mouth. Instruments were dropping. The tray she was working from was described as an absolute mess, so disorganized and chaotic that the patient actually pulled out her phone and took a picture of it. Think about that. You're lying in a dental chair with your mouth wide open, and what you're seeing is disturbing enough that you feel the need to document it in real time. Throughout the entire procedure, the patient had tears running down her face, her mouth was being burned, her face was swelling, and yet the dentist continued. And when it was over, the dentist declared the root canal complete and placed a permanent cap, a crown, on the tooth. But here's where another staff member stepped in. A different dentist at the same location performed a scan of the patient's head before she left the office, and that scan revealed something alarming. The root canal had not been completed. The procedure was unfinished. But worse than that, the root canal material had been pushed up into the patient's sinuses. Let that sink in. The patient walked in with a dental emergency, was subjected to what can only be described as a chaotic and disturbing procedure, and walked out not only with an unfinished root canal, but with foreign material now sitting in her sinus cavity. A permanent crown had already been placed over the unfinished work, as if sealing a disaster inside. In the days that followed, the patient experienced continuous bleeding from both her nose and her mouth. Her face and neck swelled significantly, and that swelling did not go down even after she was prescribed steroids. That is a serious red flag. Steroids are powerful anti-inflammatory medications. When even they aren't putting a dent in your swelling after a dental procedure, Your body is telling you something is very wrong. She reached out to the dental company, and here is where things get even more interesting. The company's response was essentially an admission. They told her they would refund her money and refer her to a specialist. They did not fight it. They did not deny it. They acknowledged that she needed to see someone else to evaluate what had been done to her, and that the tooth might need to be removed entirely. Think about what that means. She went in to save a tooth. She may now lose it because of the treatment she received. And then the dental assistant, someone who was in that room, someone who witnessed the procedure firsthand, told her directly, sue her. Now the patient didn't stop there. She did what a lot of us would do when something feels deeply wrong. She went online and searched for her dentist. What she found was deeply troubling. This dentist had multiple reports filed against her. Previous legal action had been taken, though the outcomes weren't publicly visible. And here's the part that really stands out. The dentist had received community service as some form of consequence and had worked at multiple dental offices over the course of her career. That pattern, moving from office to office, leaving complaints behind, is something patient advocates and legal experts have flagged as a serious problem in healthcare. It allows practitioners with troubled records to continue practicing while new patients have no idea what they're walking into. And this patient had no idea. She trusted the system. She trusted that a licensed dentist working in a professional office was safe to treat her. She had no warning that this person had a documented history of problems. So let's talk about what you can actually learn from this, and what steps make sense if something like this happens to you. First, document everything and do it immediately. This patient was smart enough to photograph the messy workstation during the procedure. That kind of real-time documentation can be enormously valuable. After any procedure that concerns you, write down everything you remember while it is fresh. The timeline, what was said, how you felt, what you observed. Take photos of any swelling, bleeding, or visible signs of injury. Save every receipt, every prescription, every follow-up appointment record. Second, get a second opinion from an independent provider as quickly as possible. Not another dentist at the same office. An entirely separate, unaffiliated dentist or specialist. You need someone who has no reason to protect the person who treated you. Ask them to document their findings in writing. Third, report the dentist to your state dental board. In California, that's the Dental Board of California. Every state has a regulatory body that licenses and disciplines dentists. When you file a complaint, it creates an official record. It may not immediately solve your problem, but it contributes to the documented history of a practitioner, and it could protect the next patient. Fourth, contact a dental malpractice attorney. Many of them offer free consultations, and dental malpractice is a specific area of law. You want someone who understands the medical standards involved, not just a general personal injury lawyer. In California, you generally have 3 years from the date of injury, or 1 year from the date you discovered the injury, to file a dental malpractice claim, whichever comes first. Do not wait. The sooner you talk to an attorney, the better your options are. Fifth, understand what compensation in dental malpractice cases can cover. This includes the cost of corrective treatment, additional medical expenses, lost wages if you missed work, and damages for pain and suffering. In a case like this one, with documented ongoing symptoms, a procedure that may have caused lasting sinus damage, and the potential loss of the tooth itself, the damages could be significant. And finally, do not be intimidated by the process. This patient had never sought legal action against anyone before. That's true for most people. The idea of suing someone feels enormous and scary, especially when you're already dealing with a painful physical situation. But the whole point of malpractice law is to hold professionals accountable when they cause harm through negligence. You have rights, you have options, and you deserve to have someone in your corner who understands how to fight for you. If something like this has happened to you, if you left a dental appointment feeling like something was wrong, if you're experiencing symptoms that your dentist won't explain, if multiple people in that office are telling you to get a lawyer, please take that seriously. Talk to a dental malpractice attorney. File a complaint with your state dental board. Get an independent evaluation. Do not let anyone pressure you into silence, and do not let the complexity of the process stop you from protecting yourself. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. We cover real legal situations that affect real people, and we break them down in a way that actually makes sense. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode, because knowing your rights is the first step to protecting them.